Hi parents, and welcome to the Year 6 Wandsworth Test virtual meeting. This is just an opportunity for us to go over some of the key points of the Year 6 Wandsworth Test, and hopefully it will reassure you and might answer some of the questions and queries that you have about the Year 6 Wandsworth Test. So let's start with, what are the Wandsworth tests? So it's a way of assessing the ability of all Year 6 pupils. The test is only used by the Borough of Wandsworth and certain secondary schools within Wandsworth. And it's a requirement for some schools. So there are 5 schools that use the Wandsworth test, and they include Burntwood, Ernest Bevin College, Graveney School, Ashcroft Technology Academy and Chestnut Grove Academy. So those are the 5 schools in the borough who will use the Wandsworth test to offer a selective place based on ability. The test is only related to the schools I've just mentioned. However, all Year 6 pupils are required to sit the test, whether you're applying to that school or not. If your child has an educational healthcare plan, then your child does not have to sit the test. So when do they take place? So usually the Wandsworth test takes place in early September. However, due to the circumstances of the COVID-19 pandemic, they've been moved to December. A date has yet to be confirmed, but as soon as that date has been confirmed, we will send out a letter to notify you. You do not need to do anything as a parent. Your child will automatically be enrolled for the test via the school. So the structure of the test will be in 2 parts. There'll be a short practice session at the beginning of each 2 parts, and of course we will allow the children to have a break between the 2 tests with some water, a biscuit and time to have some respite. So part 1 is the non-verbal reasoning, which lasts 55 minutes, and part 2 is the verbal reasoning, which lasts 50 minutes. So your child will be given a pre-pin printed answer sheet to fill in. The answer sheet lists the different possible answers, so it's multiple choice for both tests, and they just mark with a pencil next to the correct multiple choice option. So it's very, very limited writing, and the tests are marked by a computer. The maximum and minimum scores for each test, so the minimum is 69 and the maximum is 141. So I'm now going to take you through the 2 different tests and what they involve. So the first one I thought we'd look at is the non-verbal test. So non-verbal reasoning questions are designed to test children's ability to work out problems, regardless of their knowledge of the English language and vocabulary. The test involves abstract figures, pictures, diagrams, to test the children's ability to work out similarities and sequences of shapes or codes. So let's have a look at an example together. So this is a typical kind of question that could appear in a non-verbal test. This one is called changing bugs. So it asks you to look at the example, look at how the first bug changes, so this is the first bug here, how the first bug changes to become the second bug. And then it asks you to look at the next bug. So after the 2 dots here, look at the next bug and decide what the bug would be to complete the sequence. So this is a good chance now to pause this video, maybe have a discussion with your child or have a think on your own about what and how the bug has changed and what would be the next bug in the sequence. So look at the lines, look at the number of straight legs, the number of curved lines on the bug to give you a clue, and see if you can apply that to the next bug. So pause the video and have a discussion or have a think about what the bug could be. So the first thing you need to do, just to give you some top tips, is to make visual observations, like I said, about the 2 bugs. So what's the same about this bug and this bug, and what's different about this bug and this bug? You can see that they have the same number of legs on each side, so they have 4 legs on each side. That's a similarity, they're the same. The thing that has changed, if you managed to spot it, was actually the directions of the lines on the bug's stomach. So you can see they've changed, pointing up, and flipped here to pointing down. Therefore, when looking at the bug for the answer, you need to apply the same observation, the same rule that you've identified. So in this case, we've got 3 kind of arrowheads pointing up. So to complete your answer, you'd be looking for 3 arrowheads that would be pointing down. So therefore, the answer would be C, because as you can see, it's got the same number of arrowheads as this bug here, 3. However, they're now flipped over and they're pointing in the opposite direction, pointing down. There are lots of materials to support you at home in revising for the Wandsworth test and supporting your child. The links on here offer free downloadable or online quizzes that your child can take part in, and you can also purchase lots of guides from WH Smith or Amazon. They're between £3.50 and £5 each, so quite reasonable. Please note that Wandsworth don't actually provide schools with any revision or sample material, and we're not permitted to retain tests from previous years. So we also use similar websites that I've recommended to you to source resources and to help prepare the children in school. Okay, let's move on to the second part of the Wandsworth test, which is the verbal test. So slightly different from the non-verbal. Verbal reasoning questions, they test children's ability to reason with words. So it does involve vocabulary, it does involve some understanding of the English language. So they use word games such as matching words with similar meanings or using the letters from one word to make another word. So lots of patterns, looking for clues within a word. So an example of a verbal test question could look like this. So it says, find the 3-letter word that completes the word in capital letters and finishes the sentence in a sensible way. So the example says, I'll put some Gouda cheese on the pizza. So you need to find the 3-letter word that completes the word in capital letters. So a 3-letter word which you could add to the word ged could be rat. So that ged would now become grated. So I'll put some grated cheese on the pizza. So for each of these sentences, you are looking for a 3-letter word that could be added to the capital letter word to complete the sentence. So pause the video now. Again, make some observations. Think about your knowledge of the English language. What 3-letter word could you put into the capital letter word to complete the sentence? So, did you manage to get it? So for question 14, my cousin wears arms in the swimming pool. So we need a 3-letter word that could be added to this to complete the sentence to ensure it makes sense. So ban, B-A-N, is the 3-letter missing word, and this would complete the word and it would create it as armbands. So my cousin wears armbands in the swimming pool. Again, there are lots of useful websites out there that you can go on, and you can click the links on this presentation to again access free resources, quizzes online, and again the same as with the non-verbal, WH Smith and Amazon have lots of resources that you can purchase to aid revision at home. So just a bit on how we will prepare your child at school. Obviously the Wandsworth test is not statutory in terms of the national curriculum, but we do want to make sure your child feels prepared, feels safe and relaxed about taking the test, so it gives them the best opportunity. So we will practice for at least kind of 30 minutes twice a week. As I said, you have to remember the Wandsworth test is not a part of the national curriculum, so it does place time constraints on fitting it in. But like I said, we want to support the children in ensuring that they feel relaxed and comfortable in the test conditions. In the build up to the tests, we'll ensure that we provide the children with practice homework sample questions, which will be marked and discussed as a class. Like any other test, the children will have an opportunity to discuss any worries or concerns during circle time sessions. So if they've got questions, if they're concerned about what the test conditions are like, of course they will have circle time sessions with Miss Williams within class. And we will make sure that children are briefed and prepared on how to use the papers, how actually the test works, how they mark off their answers, so there are no unexpected surprises. So how can you support your child at home? So depending on whether you're applying for a selected place will obviously depend on how much you choose to do at home. If you are applying for a selective place, then obviously I would encourage you to definitely do additional revision at home. So accessing the websites and practicing daily at home for short periods of time to support your child with the types of questions that might occur on the Wandsworth test. Definitely purchase the revision books from Amazon or WH Smith. They will have a wide range of questions that could come up in the Wandsworth test. Again, look at your chosen school's website. It may contain information on the previous year's Wandsworth test admission places or scores. Unfortunately, we do not know what the score kind of boundary, the score grading will be each year. This changes for each school. So we can't unfortunately tell you what the kind of minimum score is to get in for a particular school. But it is worth looking at the Wandsworth Borough website and your school's website to see if there's any information about the previous year's score. Also read through the frequently asked question document, which is alongside this presentation. There are lots of questions on there which crop up often about the Wandsworth test. And also, if you've started already, that's fantastic, but practicing over the summer holiday would have really helped. If you haven't started practicing yet and you want to apply for a selective place, I would definitely get started as soon as possible to help your child with the test structure and the types of questions. Please remember, if you have any questions, to email the office and they will pass those questions on to me and I will get back to you as soon as possible. If you've got any concerns, any worries, or need some advice on where to look for resources, then please email the office and I'm happy to get back to you.